guys, so today we will be reading a passage and I'm going to do two parts for this because I feel like the video would be too long if I read the passage while answering the questions. So we're just going to read it first and then do part two. So we're just going to copy and paste this. I did not look at the passage yet. And here we go. So it's called Two-Wheel Fun. And I did remember reading this in, I believe, in 4th or 3rd grade. Okay, so we're going to start reading. What is the most popular way to travel in the world, whole wide world? Not counting human beings' two legs. You say by car? No. Train? Wrong again. Airplane? I'm sorry, but you're not even close. The most popular way from one place to another is by bicycle. That's right. It is a surprise to most Americans. After all, we see hundreds, even thousands of cars each day. We don't see nearly as many bikes. In the United States, most bike riders are either young people or adults bicycling for exercise. About 9 million bikes are sold in our country each year. Nearly 3 million are sold for use by adults. The rest are for children between the ages 5 and 14. But in the rest of the world, far more people use the bike as their main way of traveling than cars. They ride bikes to work, to school, to stores, and to church. Many families even go on vacation on bicycles. Perhaps most of these people would rather move about in cars. However, unlike cars and other kinds of machines used for traveling, the bicycle costs less. Bicycles has been around for time about 300 years. You would not like to ride around on those early bikes, though. They didn't have any pedals. Riders had to push along their way with their feet. Of course, going downhill was easier, but this bike only went straight ahead. There was no way to turn front wheel. If the rider wanted to change direction, he or she had to get off the bike or move the bicycle. When pedals were put on front of the wheels, riding became easier. The most popular kind of bike in the late 1800s had a very high front wheel and small back wheel. It was a long fall to the ground. And here's a picture. It says, this bike was popular around 1870s. It had pedals on the front wheel and also had a brake. And here's the picture of the bike. Didn't have any pedals. This early bike was invented about 1816. It did not have any pedals. It did have a steering bar connected to the front wheels, which I do see that right here. So yeah. Another problem was that there were no rubber tires. The bikes were very uncomfortable. It's no wonder that one bike was called the Bone Shaker. Then, in the 1880s, air-filled rubber tires were put into the bicycle's wheels. Since then, the bicycle has not changed very much. Of course, bikes come in different shapes and colors now, but main design is still the same. Bike sports. Bicycle racing is a very popular sport in most of the world. It was popular in this country before the car took its place as a major way of moving. From 1898 through 1910, a young black American, Marshall Taylor, was the best racer in the world. There was a bicycle race in France that almost covers 2,400 miles. It was probably the toughest race in the world. Usually it would take 3 weeks to finish. Bike racing is coming back to the United States, but it still has a long way to catch up to the popularity it has in Europe. Another growing bicycle sport in our country is a bike polo. It can be played on a football field. There are 4 players on each side. The bike riders try to hit a wooden ball with a mallet as they race by. The purpose is to drive the ball through the goalpost for a score. Be safe. Thousands of people are hurt each year as a result of bicycle riding. The sad part of this fact is most of these accidents did not have to happen if only the people had followed simple safety rules. Here are some you should pay attention to. Number 1, stay on the right side of the road. Number 2, ride in single file. Number 3, watch all ways before crossing the street. 4, obey traffic lights and traffic signs. 5, when turning or stopping, use handle signals. 6, don't hook onto a truck, car, or bus with your hand. 7. Most important of all, keep your bike in good condition. You forgot about the helmet. This was a very popular bicycle in the late 800s. It was called a high wheeler. The front wheel of some models were 5 feet high. And here it is. It has a tiny wheel and a huge wheel. So thank you for watching me read this passage for part 1. And now we're going to go to part 2 where we answer the questions. So I'll see you guys then.